2019, I jumped into hard money lending professionally as a loan officer for another hard money lending company, REI City Capital out of Seattle, and loved it. Loved the space. I love doing hard money lending because it gets us into getting to say yes where banks say no, and think creatively, and structured deals creatively. And so amazing, amazing business. So ABL, we are in 43 states, which is about almost triple what my old company was with. So I'm excited about that. Much bigger footprint across the United States. Proud father of 3. Yeah, my wife and I just celebrated our 20th anniversary, and we have 3 kids. I've got 2 in high school and 1 in junior high. So I'm local to the area. I live over in Tualatin. So ABL, yeah, we're a direct balance sheet lender. That's a fancy way of saying like we have our own money, and so we have warehouse lines, we have securitizations, but we use our own funds. We're not immediately selling a loan to somebody else. License in 40 states, talked about that. They've been in business for 15 years, over 3.3 billion funded so far. So huge company, very established. Their foreclosure rate is actually like less than 1%. So they just do good paper, and their borrowers are successful. Same day loan approval. This kind of blew me away. I was out there last week for training. They actually do a pre-underwriting call. The underwriter talks to the borrower. Imagine that within the first 2 days of getting the loan together, and they vet the deal. They talk to the borrower. Answer questions, put them together, and so you have a loan approval within a couple of days of starting the loan up with ABL. They verify a couple of things. They'll get into like as long as the appraisal matches up, title work matches up, and your credit score and background check match up, which happens 90+% of the time. Your loan's going to go through, so you have that assurance really early on, which I've never seen this before. Hard money lenders.
It is really.
And you actually have to talk to the lender, talk to the underwriter, which also never, ever, ever happens. So that part is pretty sweet. Broker protectors, we do a broker program called Broker Deals to Us. Referral program, if you guys have any friends or family that are doing hard money or doing fix and flips, you guys send me a deal, I will pay out, they call it 25 bits, which is a nice way of saying it's 0.25%. So you round numbers, it's a $300,000 loan that comes out of that deal you sent over, and you close that deal, I would pay you $750. So there's an incentive for referrals. If anybody knows anybody that is looking for hard money, anything you refer over that closes, you get paid out.
Oh.
Let's see here, loan programs. Pretty straightforward. We do new construction ground up. They have a pretty aggressive program for that, so I'm super excited about that. Fix and flip is kind of the main lane, so we do anything from 100,000 on up to 2.5 million, and then above that goes down. Cash out refinances and rental property loans. That gets into like kind of the private money space of rental properties. So if you no longer qualify for conventional lending, like maybe you don't fit their box. Maybe you got multiple businesses, or you don't have a W-2 income, and you don't fit the DTI ratios. You're just going to deal with all the paperwork you have to put together. These DSCR products, these cash out loans, can be amazing because they're like 1/10 paperwork, and they close so much faster. I know this firsthand because I did a refi through a bank about a year and a half ago, and it was a 4-month odyssey of what do you need now? It's paper and paper. I have multiple LLCs, and it was like just an endless train of paperwork. So I hated it. So now I'm going to DSCR all the way. Fortunately, right now the rates and the points are about the same as conventional, so you're not really missing out on anything. We also do bridge loans on investment property as well. The key with this stuff is no owner occupied and all investment purpose. And we generally stay in the residential space. So single family 1 to 4, commercial multifamily, a little bit of mixed use, but that's about it. Okay, I won't get too far in the weeds of this stuff, but some of this stuff I've learned this last week is kind of flexible, like minimum credit score of 660. There's some gray area there. If the deal's good, the borrower's good, we can massage that one. All loans must be done in an LLC. This is kind of prevent that somebody's not going to do an owner-occupied deal. New construction loans. Yes, they require experience. We have, you can be a brand new investor. On the new construction, we can count not only where you're on title, but also if you were a GC if you're a fee builder, that experience qualifies you for new construction as well. So if you've been a fee builder while you want to get into doing your own deals, all that experience I can count and get you better terms and better rates. Super excited about. More experience, better terms. This one's pretty straightforward. You're less of a credit risk if you've been doing this for a while. We're going to successfully done it. We're going to roll their carpet out more and give you lower rates and lower points and lower down payments. Post-closing liquidity, that's just a fancy way of saying once it's reserves, it's some capital reserves for once the loan closes, you have money to start the project and make some loan payments. I'm going to blaze past this. We have a case studies put together this time, but I will next time. ABL offerings. So the big advantages of doing hard money over other sources is speed to close. We can close in like 2 weeks, even with the appraisals. I have my own personal bank of appraisers. I don't go through AMCs. I have my own appraisals here in town, which I put together. So those go a lot quicker than the AMCs, so I can do things in 2 weeks. Reliability, the biggest thing is once you get underwriter approval, like you're pretty set. You know your loan's going to go through. And if you have that last, final hour, oh my gosh, this loan, we're canceling the loan or we're backing out. We don't have that happen with ABL. Construction specialist, one-stop zero BRRRR. Who here knows what the BRRRR model is? Is everybody familiar with the BRRRR? For anybody that's not, it stands for, it's the acronym for buy. You buy a property, kick the tenants out if there weren't any in there. You're going to renovate it, and then you're going to re-rent it out to new tenants at usually a higher rent. The place is nicer. You're going to refinance it, go back to the bank and say, look, it's nicer. I got better tenants in there. They give you a higher value. You get to cash out with all the money you put in for the loan, plus the down payment you put in. So you, in essence, have no capital in that loan. And then the last R is just repeat. So therefore, you only need a certain amount of money to do this deal over and over again. You can recycle the same money over and over again. So you have infinite return on these properties you have no money into. That's the theory. It's harder to find, but those are out there. Yes?
Maybe we're combining with pad splits, is that
pad splits? I'm not doing pad splits as far as the DSCR part. Right now, at DSCR, they're really just like a regular, 12-month lease client. What I tell people is just do a 12-month lease client for the first, get the loan, have that client in there for the first year. As soon as they move out, as long as you're making a loan payment, you can do whatever you want with that property, just like any other mortgage out there. They just want their payments. And so that's how you work with that, play the game. And flexibility. There's very few deals that we're going to say no to altogether. We may adjust for deleveraging, like if it's a rural property. I was told earlier we don't do rural properties. Well, actually, we do. We just have a little reduced leverage because rural properties are a little more volatile as far as value. I can speak to that myself because I've made those loans and had the market drop down this far in a down market in 2008. But long story short, ABL is well positioned, very well capitalized. They're super hungry to get going to the Northwest. And they told me, Chris, we're not going to lose a deal on weighted points. If you're competing with anybody, call me and we'll be competitive. And so they are super hungry to do business here. I would love to get some more loans going with ABL in this area. So I'm working that up through Oregon and also Washington, Seattle area, but in more than 40 states. Let's see. Well, that's not that far. If you're worried for right now, you can do that, but that's, to me, tonight was just more of an introduction to who is the company. And that's it. That's my whole spiel. Hope I didn't go too long.
That's perfect.
Thanks, guys. Yes.
You mentioned better terms for those that have more experience. So can you give me some ideas of what you guys consider more experience?
Right. So fix and flip, for example. If you have done flips in the last 3 years, if you've done 3 or more, now you're getting like 10% down and like maybe 10.5 and 1.5, 10.5%, 1.5 on the points. If you've done 5 or more, now you're in what they call the platinum program, and now you can get things down to like 9.5 and 1 at 90% loan to cost, or they have one that's 8.99 on the interest rate and 1.25 on points.
Wow.
So it's
It's good.
super aggressive. These guys, they what's nice is this, they are hedge fund funded. They do have securitization, so their cost of money is cheaper. That's why they can get these lower points. Whereas like other lenders, their cost of money is more expensive, so they have to go higher in their terms. So yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. They also have a 0-point option, to where if you would rather say, you know what, I don't want to pay any points at all, then we can do a loan with 0 points, and it just adds a couple of points to your interest rate. So, you know, maybe instead of like 9.5 and 1, you're doing like, 11% or 11.25, something like that. The advantage where that helps you and that saves you money is where you have a really short flip, something like you're going to get in and out fast, you're going to sell within 4 to 6 months. You know, you're only going to do this for a short amount of time. You actually save money than you would have if you done the 9.5 to 1 to do the 11% because you're working with like renovation budgets and your payments and so on. Anyway, I can demonstrate out for you guys who works it that way, but I don't think anybody's doing a 0-point option right now, so I'm just going to show that to them. Yeah.
Can you put the first slide with all your information?
Yeah. Mouse back here. Oh, there we go. So that's me in my blue steel look, apparently. That's gonna be fun with that internet.
I like that. That's cool, man.
And the pizza in the back, that's Bellagio's pizza. I'm just gonna fun fact, the one in the middle, the chicken garlic, is like my family's favorite pizza of all time.
There you go.
No bonkers.
Ramiro's got a question.
Ramiro, what you got?
Let's confirm, 6 months, 8 months, a year?
Yeah. Most everything we do is 12 months, but we also do have 18-month and 24-month options. So if you want to go longer, you can do that. Typically, it adds a little bit to the origination fee, but not by much. You know, it's just more like, the opportunity cost of money, right? Put money all that loan. So, but you can go longer, and it helps you out. If you don't even go long, rather than pay extension points, you would just do that and go, all right, I'll pay a half point now, as opposed to do it later.
So what would be the expansion point for the cost? Because I think that's where a lot of times, you don't sell the house in 6 months, you just don't know the market, right? And what type of a hit do you take on those expansion points? Because I'd rather do 1 year instead of 6 months.
Yeah. So
What would it look like?
So we do a blanket 12 months. I know some companies will do like 6 months or 4-month projects, but what I'm telling you is that's kind of a moneymaker, because most people go over that time frame and they pay the extension fee. Sometimes they have ones where it's like 6-month program, but then you pay extra points every month you go over. So you just get a lot. And so what we do is we'll do a 12-month that will go the whole way, and no prepayment penalty on that time frame. You have the whole 12 months to do it, or you can do an 18-month program. The extension fees, I don't have that memorized, Romero. You got me. I knew it was gonna be something tonight where I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna know something. But it's okay. My mail company, it was like 1 point for 90 days. I think it's somewhere in that zone, but I got do it to Johnny and send out the group.
Yeah.
Do it that way. Yes. Interestingly enough, no, they don't want to stay in position. So what I advise on that front is like either partner up with your LLC together, or do a JV partnership behind the scenes where it's unrecorded. Johnny, your question?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, any clarification before any number of things
The only situation where I would say it's okay to go longer if there's like a huge upside in a bigger project. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars more. Yeah.
I talked to 2 people that will ended up pulling the foot, right? And then I think you really have to be like very careful.
Well, that actually brings on a good point that I've been invited to people recently is if you can get into a flip, but also engineer it to where if you had to hold it as a rental, it stores as a rental also. Or midterm rental, right? Yeah, exactly. So you engineer it where like either way you're gonna be okay. You know, where it gets dicey is you get something that's going to be $800,000 value, but the maximum account's going to be like $2,000 a month, and your loan is $500,000. That's a hard position to be in because you can't, you're going to pay it out of that loan. It's dicey. For example, I got my own place in North Portland where I've got 10 upstairs and downstairs unit, and with $5,000 a month rent. So if things do get wonky and go sideways, we reverse that lower unit into its own unit, and both out. They will go with your rental and call you up for that. And then the pay type rent comes back around. You know, so we always have that option there. So I'm not worried about listening to my price. Any other questions? Going once, going twice.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks you guys. That's good. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, that was good, right? Good stuff. Now you're gonna hang around for a little bit. I know sometimes you got to take off, but you're gonna be here. Okay, cool. He's here with us all night. Now, I want to use this opportunity that Chris just presented some scenarios. Let me just kind of get some feedback from the room while I'm changing over here to my presentation, which is not going to be nearly as slick as Chris's. But what would be a scenario? Just somebody maybe shout it out. What's a scenario that would work really well for the product that Chris offers? What's the typical scenario? We already talked about it tonight. What's a real estate investing scenario that works well where you'd be like, you know what, I think I'm going to call Chris. Anybody, somebody shout it out. Fix and flip, right? Yeah, it's not a trick question, guys. I won't do that to you. Okay, so fix and flip is, like Shona was saying, is risky in a market where you're not having the back end product move really quickly, right? Because at the end of the day, the whole idea is to flip it, right? You fix it, then you flip it. And so the one thing you want to remember is that if you're going to do a fix and flip right now, you really want to make sure that you're actually getting a really, really good deal on the front end, right? So somebody help us out. What's a good kind of like, if you have the ARV after repair value is, let's just say $500,000. Let's just use some easy numbers. $500,000 is your ARV after repair value. What would be a good price to pick that thing up at, or what would be a good cash offer if, say, your budget for repairs is like $70,000? Somebody do some quick math.
250,000.
How much? 250,000. That's pretty. That'd be, now. Would you guys pick it up if you could get a thing? If you could sell it at 500,000, and you knew those were numbers. Those numbers are pretty good. You have to put about 70 into it to get it that way, to get it worth 500,000. 250,000 plus 70 is how much? 320,000, right? So your total financing cost is going to be about 320, right? Now, if you're working with Chris or Landon or whoever, but Chris is here tonight and he bought pizza, so we're gonna give him as much business as possible. Yeah. If you're working with Chris, then you're gonna pay. Let's just say, use easy numbers. You're gonna pay about 10% interest on that 350,000 or that 320,000, right? Is that about 10%? Is that what to start off? 12. Yeah. Okay. So give us, just so everybody understands what that 12% means. So let's just say the total purchase price plus cost of renovations, the total they're looking at is about $320,000 to get into this deal and get it market ready. How does your structure work for your product? So let's just say that the ARV is going to be 500,000. Total purchase price plus the estimated cost of repairs. Somebody in the room is thinking, I think I'm going to offer about $320,000. So they've come, and actually have somebody that's accepted an offer, that gives them enough room, like 250 is their cash offer, plus they're going to need about 70,000 for the repair budget. So total 320. How does the numbers work for your loan structure?
So on 320, for your average investor, we would do 85% loan cost. I think that's 320 times 85%. That would be 272.
272 is what you will loan. Okay. So did you guys catch that? So how much does that mean you're going to have to come up with? If the total budget is 320,000, right? That's purchase price plus repairs. And Chris will do how much?
85.
$285,000. So how much short are you for this total project? We'll call it 50,000, right? Okay, so now what do you do? If you don't have that $50,000 laying around in your back pocket, what do you do? Find a private money lender. Do we have any private money lenders or anybody that can attach us to? Yeah, but he also gave you a workaround. You didn't. You got to catch that, right? So he said, okay, we don't allow second position to be recorded, and he's not saying that we want to go out and do a bunch of unrecorded stuff, but in theory, you could get together with a private money lender, say, hey, I'm not just going to have you loan the money to me. I'm actually going to bring you into this deal as a partner for $50,000 invested into this deal, a JV partner, right? So you bring in the $50,000 from somebody in the room that has that 50,000 laying around, and then you go do all the work, and then they don't get 50,000 back, they get whatever their interest rate is back at the end of the project, right? So there's ways to do this. Even what I'm trying to get at is you have to kind of understand, Chris just gave you some really cool stuff, but you want to understand like what's a real life scenario look like, right? And so you want to be thinking that way. It's not like he's just going to go hand you, hey, here's $320,000, go for it. The lenders are gonna require a little bit of your own skin in the game, so to speak. And if you don't have skin in the game, if you don't have cash to put into it, then you don't say, oh, well, I guess I can't do real estate investing. No, you go find somebody who you can work with that can put some of their own money in it, and then you guys work together. That's why I say think we, not me, right, Steve?
Overall cost of being on kind of a soft market right now, you're going to need to plan on those numbers about $3,200 a month payment while you're holding that property for itself.
Yes.
So you got to stick, okay, 6 months. That's 3 times 6 is 18. It's 18 grand or 20 grand. We'll say to round up. Needs to be in an account somewhere for you to carry that property until it does sell.
Yep. So you want to make sure that the monthly payments that have to be made on this loan, you also kind of, and by the way, I'm telling you guys stuff, I didn't know any of this when I started. So you guys have heard my stories, most of you, where I started out accidentally. I accidentally flipped my first house, and I didn't know jack diddly squat about anything. All I knew is there was this guy named Randy, and I've tried to get Randy up here. Do you know Randy Witherspoon? Anybody know Randy Witherspoon? You guys know him? And so it's funny. He's been doing hard money loans in Oregon, and he's based out of kind of the Salem, Albany area for years. Definitely over a decade, because that's how I used him on my first one. And he had just had to be on this little trickle follow-up, and I happened to find this deal and got into it. And anyway, I didn't know anything at all about like how much money I needed to have into it. All I knew is that I wanted to do this, and I was going to do this. Anybody feel like that here tonight? Like Tyrone's saying I can taste it, and he's not talking about that chicken pizza, right? So if you guys have this, like, I am going to make this happen, then you can make it happen, is what I'm trying to say. And you have resources in this room. Please, please, please do not walk out of here tonight thinking, well, I don't know, this just isn't for me. I didn't understand what he was talking about, so I guess I better just cash in on this idea. You guys can absolutely do this, okay? So the reason I brought that scenario up is because it's some of you, can we do, are we honest in here tonight? That's one of the values, right? I mean, just raise your hand. Don't be embarrassed. Raise your hand if you honestly didn't really understand what it is that Chris was talking about. Just anybody? Okay, that's all right. Yeah, okay. So there's about 3 or 4 of you. Okay. Hey, the rest of you guys, good job. And the ones that kind of raise your hand, even if it was like, kind of understood, that's okay. The great thing is you're in a safe space, right? And I don't mean like, like we're not going to say anything to offend you. I'll probably say all kinds of stuff to offend you if you hang around me long enough. But the point is, you can come in here and be like, I don't know what's going on. Like Mary said tonight, like, I don't know. I'm brand new to this, but this is a good place to be if you're brand new. There's some other real estate meetups in the area that they have some really high level stuff. But you walk into there and sometimes you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. This is a good place to be if you're just starting out. So I wanted to just tell you that. Now, I told you guys I want to talk tonight about how I'm helping homeowners. And so I got my handy dandy, really awesome slide presentation here, and I'm not even working on this, but we're going to start on this here, and I want to just give a little bit of background for the way that I want to kind of present this tonight. First of all, you need to understand what we're about to talk to. This is a total shift from what Chris is doing. Okay, So in real estate investing, there's all kinds of ways to make money, right? Somebody shout out a couple ideas. How can you make money in real estate? Just give me fix and flip. We already talked about that. Wholesaling, right? Bird dogging. Hard money lender, private money lender, building, new construction, right? Yes, Shona, midterm rentals, right? Is that what you're going to say, Shona? Buy and hold, yeah, yeah. Even in Multnomah County, you can do it and make money, right, Shona? Okay. So the idea is that there's all kinds of ways to make money in real estate. You can do, he said something about resi. You know, I think it was Landon, you know, we do resi loans. So residential loans, there's commercial loans. In residential, there's single family homes. Then there's duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes. And then you get into apartment complexes. So there's all kinds of ways to make money in real estate, okay? Let me just say this real quickly. Don't be overwhelmed if you're just getting started. You can feel overwhelmed and that can kind of come on you, but you don't have, you can choose to be like, well, I'm not going to be overwhelmed. You can just say, I'm not going to be overwhelmed, right? Because here's the good thing. You don't have to know everything about everything there is to know in real estate to be able to be successful in real estate. That's really good news, right? That's really good news because you can start by just working with somebody and someone said bird dogging, you know, the idea is you go out and you just find the lead or you find a potential property. Hey, that property looks like it's vacant. You know, the grass is this tall. It's got boards over the windows. You know, I'm going to go get the address and I'm going to go see if I can find who the owner is. And then I'm going to go back into the group and I'm going to talk to that one wholesaler that I met. You know, it seems like Danny knows what's going on. He's got a deal locked up. You know, he's putting his stuff out there to buyers. You know, hey, Marina, she's working for Investor Plus, and you know, so there's people in the room that know what to do if I bring them this lead. The great thing is you want to work with people that you actually in this room are going to be honest and they're going to help you get money if the deal closes, right? So in this room, that's what I expect to happen. So you guys work together and treat each other fair, right? But what we're going to talk about here for the next couple minutes, and I want you guys to just, you know, can you give me some attention here for like another 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, right? Can you guys do that? Okay. You guys need to stand up and stretch out a little bit. Okay. We're all right. The reason I want to talk about this is because I think this particular way of doing real estate in the Portland area and Salem and Vancouver is going to be it's a very good way for you guys to get involved in real estate. And it's actually much more simple than people make it out to be. Okay. Here's the thing. We're going to talk about how I'm currently, and I have about 7 of these types of deals that I'm working on right now by myself. Okay. So, so you guys can go out and find these deals. The great thing is they're actually super easy to find. You don't even have to go and like try to, you know, go hunting and driving for dollars, because these deals, these leads, I should say, there's a difference between a lead and a deal. These leads actually are put out by who puts them out every single week? Anybody know? Title companies, right? So the reason why Chris was last minute kind of fill in is because we're going to have the Ty-Court title team come in tonight, and they're going to try to make it out next month. But I was going to have them come in and talk about. You guys can get on the email list, and they'll send you out a list of these foreclosure auction or foreclosure notices. Basically, it's the legal term is like a notice of default or a lis pendens, and it basically says, hey world, this property over on 123 Main Street, this property is in default and they are behind on the mortgage payments, and it's moved past the kind of grace period. It's now moving into the part where we're going to begin to foreclose on the property. Okay, so once that goes to public record, it's now kind of up for grabs for you guys to come out and see what you can do to help these homeowners. So I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. We're working on this one. Gary Blomquist is the case study. And I'm not going to give you the full history on this because I'm going to get into more detail when we do the workshop next month, which, by the way, is free. And if you guys clicked on the QR code and fill that out, then you're going to get all the information on that. But I want to talk a little bit about how I got this lead. So I have a training. It's called Legacy Leads training, and I'm going through for a year with everybody that's in that Legacy Leads group, and I'm showing them how to find leads that are really, really good leads. Now, this particular lead came from this lead source in kind of a different way that I'm teaching, but the point is, when it came to me, what happened was you had it's kind of an at-risk homeowner. So you had somebody who was an older couple. They had some medical issues. They really needed to move to get closer to family. and they were behind on their mortgage because of all the stuff that happened in 2020, right? During the 2020, COVID craziness, there were a lot of people that got behind on their mortgage, right? You guys know that, right? And so a lot of these people, they got these deferment programs. The state and the federal government offered all kinds of programs to kind of help them stay in their home. And these folks had gotten behind, and it was kind of like, hey, we really need to do something to get closer to family. And so what I did was I was brought, the lead was brought to me through this Legacy Leads training system that I'm going through. So this is a warm, ready to sell lead that was brought to me, and I didn't pay any money for it. Sound pretty good? Okay, well, if you're in the Legacy Leads training, then you know what I'm talking about, but that's not what we're talking about tonight. But anyways, a really good lead. I went down there and talked to them, and I basically said, okay, you folks need to sell, but I don't know what's going on with your loan other than this. Your loan is behind. Yeah, our loan is behind. Do you know how much? We think this much. We don't really know. How many of you know that when people get behind, they feel the pressure of getting behind on their mortgage payments, sometimes people just tend to shut down. You guys know that? People just kind of, they just like, they can't handle the pressure. I know a little bit about this because in 2008, I was going to Bible school in Florida. But how many of you guys know that I'm an ordained pastor? About half and half. Okay, so that really doesn't mean anything, because that can mean like, I'm in it to get in your pocketbook. It can mean all kinds of things. So you can get ordained online nowadays too. So, but I was, yeah, I know Steve said, but I was training for ministry, and I was, we had moved to Florida to go to this particular school where I really wanted to learn the Bible, and I was going through all this stuff. And by the way, how many of you know that there's a lot of controversy in the news right now about people, and man, it seems like there's a lot of tension. I'm not here at all to try to contribute to that, but I know what I believe, and I know why I believe it, and it has nothing to do with politics. Can I get a witness? Amen. Okay, I love Jesus, and I love him because he first loved me, and he died to pay for my sin, and he died to pay for your sin too. And if you want to know how to get to heaven, I'll tell you after the class. Okay, so, but I was training for ministry. And we got behind on our mortgage payments. Now, how embarrassing is that? You're going to ministry school, and our God is an awesome God, but I can't pay my mortgage payments. So I went through some stuff internally, and I had to kind of come to terms with some stuff, and we got behind, and so we narrowly missed foreclosure by about that much, maybe by about that much. But we got I had a realtor that I did some work for. This is back in the day. I knew nothing about real estate. I was just a construction guy. And I did some handyman work for this one realtor a lot of times. And he actually helped me work out what's called a short sale with the bank. Short sale is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically you sell the property short or less than what you owe on it. Okay, so at one point, I had about $80,000 of equity. When the market tanked, Florida got hit super, super hard. And so beware if you guys are buying in out other state markets. There are certain states that tend to really, really take a hit when things go down, right? So Florida is one of those markets. Las Vegas is one of those markets. Arizona tends to be one of those markets. So just be advised. So I went from $80,000 positive equity, with just a couple of kids. They were married, had 3 little babies, going to Bible school. We kind of rolled our equity, built a house, rolled it, sold it, and went to negative $36,000 equity. I owed more money, $36,000 more than my house would sell for. And so the market really, really changed pretty hard, and a lot of people got caught in that. I don't think that we're having that big of a market shift right now, but it could get that way. I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying right now there's a lot of people that are hurting because the economy is not exactly thriving, right? Interest rates have gone up. Some people have these adjustable rate mortgages and things like that. So there's people out there that are losing their jobs, they're losing income, they can't keep up. And this particular situation with this older couple was just like that. So here's the first thing I did. And I'm going to go through all this in the workshop coming up, but the first thing I did was I got a power of attorney, so that allowed me to be able to go and talk to the bank on the behalf of the owner. Have you guys heard about this before? Power of attorney, POA? So that doesn't mean I can go open a bank account in their name. That doesn't mean I can, pull the plug if they're in, a car accident. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that it's actually, technically, it's called a limited power of attorney. But that limited power of attorney is the very first thing that I did with this particular couple, because of the fact that I'm not going to go make an offer on a property if I don't even know what's going on with the loan. Does Does that make sense? Like, I'm not going to go make an offer. By the way, why didn't you just offer them a fix and flip loan? You know, and to get Chris Burdick to come out or Landon to loan you money, because here's the deal: they owed more money on the property than it would be worth to for a cash offer. Meaning, we talked about that scenario where it was 500,000 and our offer should be 250 plus the 70 for repairs, right? Well, they owed too much money. And so I've got some numbers here in a minute. We'll go through it. But the idea is, first of all, I need to find out what's going on with this loan. Okay. So I got power of attorney, and this is what I found out. They were the senior mortgage. That has nothing to do with their age. That has to do with the first mortgage, right? So you have first mortgage, second mortgage. The senior mortgage, they call it, was in arrears. $44,000 is how much they were behind. There was an auction date that was set. They kind of knew that maybe that was the case, but they didn't know because why? They had just kind of the head in the sand. Then there was another problem. There was a secondary lien from OHCS. Anybody know what that stands for? OHCS? Steve, Dave, you guys know what that is? It's truth of the matter is, I was hoping one of you guys would know because I don't remember what that is. It has something to do with the state of Oregon. Okay, so this is the COVID relief money. This is a program that was offered by the state of Oregon. Okay. So during the whole COVID crisis, people are getting behind, right? And so the state of Oregon stepped in and they said, hey, if you guys are behind, what we'll do is we'll actually help you make your payments for a while so that you can stay in your house. You guys heard about these programs? Yeah. Okay. All right. Is this, are we tracking so far? Everybody with me? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, hey, we have the internet, don't we? Oregon Housing and Community Services. Okay, cool. So here's the problem. They were 44,000 behind. There was an auction date set. And then in addition to that, they had this lien from the state that said, hey, if you sell this house, this has to be paid back. Now, what do you know about, does anybody know about these particular programs? There's something really cool about these. Dave, what is it?
Well, the nice thing about it is, number one, it may not be 60,000, that's a round number. Number two, most of these programs have a declining balance every year.
Bingo.
20%. In 5 years, you still have your house, it comes down to zero.
Yep. So if you keep the house for at least 5 years, every single year, the reduction amount is $15,000 off of the 60,000. So as long as you don't sell the house within a 5-year period of time, this actually goes away. Okay. So I found that out, and I found that out because I had the power of attorney. So here's the thing, Mr. Blomquist, Gary, you know, bless his heart, he was just not able to do this. He was, you know, I can't figure out, I don't know what's going on. And so, by the way, he is fully capable. I want to be really clear. It's not like this guy had no mental facilities. He just was like, this is too much. I can't handle this, right? His wife is unhealthy. They're older. So I kind of came in as an advocate. And so that's a really, really important thing. Now, I don't have a license that shows that, but you can act as an advocate on someone else's behalf, at least in the initial contact, because all I'm doing is just coming in and I'm saying, hey, if you give me power of attorney for your property for this particular deal, I'll go in and find out what's going on with the loan. Remember, at this time, there's no offer on the table. There's no money exchange. There's nothing in escrow. It's just I'm going to offer to help you find out what's going on with your house. How many of you have some kind of element of liking to help people? Anybody like that in this room? Sure. Well, look at that. You guys all qualify for doing this. Okay, so you can actually help people find out what's going on with their loan. And here's the other thing. It's not really that hard to make a couple phone calls and talk to the bank. And if you're anything like me, I kind of enjoy it because I like, especially when it's not my loan, right? I kind of enjoy going in and saying like, hey, let's find out what's going on with this loan. Let's see what we can do to help these people. Let's find out, let's get them some answers. So I was able to do that with them. And then based on what I found out, I was able to structure an offer. Now here's where the numbers come in. The amount that they owed on the loan was $351,000. Okay. So what I did was I said, by the way, $351,000 and the $60,000 that I offered them, that was the amount of equity that we decided. They said, you know what, if you can give us $60,000, we'll just sign this whole thing over to you. Okay. Now, I want to say this real quickly as a caveat. The reason why I was willing to give them $60,000 to take over their loan was because they had a 2.99% interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage. Now, if you know anything about interest rates and about buy and hold properties, that's a really, really good deal. It's not quite as good as Shona Lepis's 0% interest, 0 down deal. Okay, 0 down. Yeah, how much interest? That's still really good. Yeah. Yeah. So, but 2.99 fixed on a 30-year mortgage is pretty good, right? And so, by the way, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, because some of you are going to have questions. There's more details about this, okay? So don't try to catch me and say, well, what about this later? Because I'm going to actually go through the specific details of this later. But I'm just giving you kind of an idea of what was going on. So 351, is what's left on the loan. I gave them $60,000. Now I didn't have $60,000 laying around to give them. So where did I get that money, Sherry? I got that money from a private money lender. You say, where did you meet that private money lender? Right here in this room. I think he was sitting right back where Mary is sitting right now. So he's not here tonight, but I've done deals with this guy. And so in this room, there's people that are going to come in here, and they've got a little bit of cash, and they're willing to work with you if you show them that you have a deal. And so I went to him. I said, listen, I got this deal. If we come in with $60,000 of these folks, here's what we can do. I'll either make you a partner in this deal with me if you want to hold it with me, or if you want out anytime, I'll just give you your money back within, not within a year. Let's give them a 1-year term, and I'll give you your money back plus 10% interest. And he was like, hey, that sounds great. This money's just sitting here. It's not doing anything anyway. So I got the $60,000 to give to him. By the way, do some math real quick. Somebody do some math. What's 351 plus 60? About 411. Is that what it is? 411. Okay, so we're really good at math, aren't we? It's a little too late to be doing math without a calculator. So $411,000 at the time that I made this offer, guys. At the time I made this offer, who wants to take a guess? This house was worth. This is the one down in the Hollywood district, little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. At the time I made this offer, it was worth at least Zillow said, and all the comps showed it was worth about $487,000. So think about this. I'm getting into a house that has somewhere in the $50,000 to $70,000 range of equity, and I'm getting into it by paying them out $60,000 of their equity, right? And I'm keeping their interest rate, okay? So my acquisition and carry cost, what's this? This is the cost that it cost. By the way, for my particular lead source, I always, always, always reward the referrals that come to me. So remember I told you this is a warm, hot, motivated seller lead, right? Off market, nobody else knows about it. This is the best kind of leads, by the way. And what makes it better is it was free. In other words, I didn't go pay to have that lead come to me. I waited till that lead came to me, and then I said, let me pay you some money for bringing me this lead. Okay, so I gave that gal, in this particular case, I gave her $5,000 because I knew this was a good lead, okay? Why would I give somebody $5,000 for one lead? Anybody know? So I get more leads. See, Mary, you're a lot farther along than you think. So I can get more leads from her. Which, by the way, this particular gal that brought this lead to me, Peggy, you know who I'm talking about, and at least the kind of because she works in the business where she's around these types of folks all the time. Okay, so these leads come to me. I pay her handsomely because I want her to keep bringing these leads to me. Now, I do make it very clear. Every one of these deals is a deal specific type of a lead. I can't guarantee you I'm going to pay you $5,000 every time. But on this particular deal, how does $5,000 sound? She's like, are you serious? Like, yeah, I'm going to make money on this. She's like, yeah, I'll take it. So $5,000 to her. I paid $5,000 to have the professional moving company come in and pack these folks' house up and move them out of state so they could be up close to the family. And then, of course, I've got about $6,000 to pay my 10% interest to my private money lender, right? So 5 plus 5 plus 6, my total acquisition cost about $16,000, okay? Now it says and carry costs. That's really not totally accurate, but at the same time, I haven't been paying carrying costs because remember, the loan was in a deferral status. So there was $60,000 from the state that was basically paying the mortgage. There was no money coming out of my pocket at that time. Okay, so this was my total out-of-pocket cost initially, and then this right here was my total out-of-pocket cost for what it cost me to clean the property up. They kind of had they're not hoarders, they're collectors, right? You guys know anybody like that? They're not hoarders, they're collectors. So yep. My total cost, like to get into this deal, was $26,000 out of my pocket. Okay. Now I didn't have to do that. I could have asked him, right? But I wanted him to know, like, hey, I'm in this too, so I put some of my own money in this. But yes, Sean, I see your hand up. Yes. No, it'd be just like if you went down to U.S. Bank and got a HELOC. It's not necessarily going to, like, you know, notify your senior mortgage, your first mortgage, right? Yeah. Now, to be fair on this particular deal, so I would absolutely recommend getting something that's recorded so that your lender is secured. On this particular deal, because the guy was going to be owning it with me, we actually had an LLC drawn up and everything. He didn't necessarily want it to be recorded. We just wanted to make sure that he was taken care of. So I would always recommend recording that lien, that $60,000, or really any amount of money. Get it recorded with the county office, or at least have something signed and notarized that at any given time you can run down to the county recording office and say, hey, this thing is going south. I need to get this recorded so it's on public record that this $60,000 is attached to this property. Does that make sense? Okay. So total all-in cost on this thing right now for me are about $457,000. Okay, and I'm not going to go into all the math right now, but here's what we've got. Here's what. And by the way, when I say all-in cost, I'm including this right here. Right? I'm including if I had to sell it today and pay off that 2.99% mortgage, my total at the title company, everybody gets paid off. There's $457,000 that has to all get paid. And by the way, that's going to include this amount right here, any amount that I have into it. I'm going to write an invoice against the escrow company so that well, not me, but my LLC gets paid for the money I put into it, okay? So anything you put into it, you always want to make sure that you can get it back out if it has to sell. So that's some of the other stuff we're going to talk about in the workshop. But so here's what's cool about it. The existing mortgage right now, because I'm now the power of attorney, right? And I've already paid the sellers and I've helped them move, right? So now I have full access to this property. I can put a renter in there. I didn't in this particular case because it did need a little bit of work and I was also cleaning it out. But what I did was I started talking to the bank and I started talking to the mortgage company. And remember, I'm talking to them as the power of attorney for the owner, okay? I'm not talking to them as, yeah, I'm John, I just bought the place, okay? That's not how I'm talking to the, I'm on the documentation with the lender. And he said, well, that's a little bit shady. No, it's not. As far as the lender is concerned, I am the representative for Mr. Blomquist. Why? Because he signed and notarized the paperwork that authorizes me to do that. Okay, so him and I have an agreement. He's been paid. Guess how pumped they were? I mean, like his wife Ellen, God bless her heart, she passed away. She was sick, but she was able to get up to be close to family. She lived there for about a year, and then she passed away. But I mean, Ellen she almost broke down crying. She said, "You're like an angel." Okay. I said, well, nobody says that about me, but I've been called the opposite. But the cool thing is like now I have full access to the property. I'm also the power of attorney, so I can now go in and start talking to the mortgage company about what do we need to do to get this loan reinstated. Shona, don't be sorry. Yes, and that would be, in this particular case, I probably would have done that. Now, if I was to make this offer today, I would probably do that. So what she's saying is instead of paying them a lump sum, why not just make payments to them? So what you have to understand is everybody's going to have a different level of motivation, right? So Shona has a deal where she's doing 0 down and then making payments, right? Well, apparently that seller doesn't need a big chunk of cash right now, right? In this particular situation, it was better for me and for them. I say for me because they just wanted money to get moved, to get relocated, to kind of get set up in their new place. And the family was helping them with the house. So it was better for me because why would it be better for me to just pay them and have them done? Anybody know? Because in this particular case, I didn't want them thinking to themselves, man, that property is still hanging out there. I wonder if John's going to make the payment this month. There's a sense of getting a chunk of money and then it being done. And now they feel like they got paid, everything's squared away, right? And so in some cases, I would say this, as often as possible, I like to pay the sellers whatever equity I can and just get them out of the picture, because out of sight becomes kind of out of mind, right? Yeah. Say that again, what? I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, and I don't play one on TV. So I think the answer to that question is always going to be based on the individual's particular, tax burden and that kind of thing. So I always tell people, hey, talk to your accountant about this. This is not my deal. Yeah, Shona? Yeah. 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 So if it's an investment property and they're thinking about selling it, there can be some really good tax benefits by not taking a lump sum on the sale. So, but remember, I'm not saying that landlords don't ever get behind on their mortgage, but I'm dealing with people who are they're in trouble, right? So they've got one of these things right here taped to their front door, right? You guys seen these before? You ever seen a house that has this taped to the window? Or have you ever wondered what does that all say? If you guys want to, you can come up and look at this afterwards. This is I've been in town, of course, this week for the it doesn't actually say that. I read through it. This is also the final notice, and I'm pretty sure this one already went to auction. It's totally vacant. So I just said, well, I'm going to borrow this tonight. And actually, you guys, can I give you a little side note of what I thought? There's some wording in here about if you are a tenant, and about what the legal rights that you have as a tenant. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I could contact this person and just have them sign a tenant agreement with me. Anyway, that's somebody like, why would you do that? Because anyway, yeah, I know, I figured that. But anyway, the point is, once this documentation goes on their front door, this is legal notification that, of course, it goes on public records and everything. But there's a printed document. It's a trustee's notice of sale. So basically, the trustee acting on the behalf of the bank, the lender, is saying, hey, we're moving towards the process of putting this house up for auction. In fact, this particular one is scheduled for auction. Actually, it was scheduled for auction on whereof hereby notice hereby is given that the undersigned trustee will, on October 21st, 2025 at the hour 1 p.m. standard time, per the section blah blah blah, sell at the public auction to the highest bidder for cash the interest of the said Stripe property. So basically, it says we have an October 21st. The property has definitely been vacant and for a while. So, but the point is that once it goes to that, so I'm working. What we're talking about tonight here, there's all kinds of things. Shona is writing letters. You still writing letters? Postcard letter. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so the original way that she got it was she writes a letter to a tired landlord, so to speak, right? So these are people like, yeah, I've been holding this rental for a while, but I don't know, I would sell it if the right price came along, right terms. Shona worked that out. Now she's worked out another one. Okay, what I'm talking about is helping homeowners that are in distress, right? They've gotten the notification. They don't know what to do. There may not even be as much equity in there as maybe it is with these folks, and this still works. And so what I did was I went in and I kind of just said, okay, I'm going to use my private money. I'm going to pay out the seller. And I got the $44,000 as the power of attorney using some very, very specifically worded verbiage. I got them to take that $44,000 that they were behind on the loan. And I have the letter right here. I was hoping I'd get all this into a slideshow. $43,963.94 moved. The modification terms are move that amount to the back end of the mortgage. So now that money is no longer due today to be able to reinstate the loan. Now with this particular property, all I have to do is make the $1,800 a month payment, $1,829 a month payment at 12 cents. Because it used to be $2,141.84. They modified it to $1,829 or $1,829.12 because I specifically worded some things with my conversation with the bank. I said, we really need to make sure that we make this work for the homeowner. Now you said, John, I thought you bought it. I haven't bought it yet. I paid the seller. okay? But I have not transferred title into my name yet. Why would I not transfer title into my name whenever I've paid the seller? Anybody know? Remember this thing right here? I'm just gonna hold this property in, with contract and with a, by the way, I didn't just have a sale contract that I had them sign and notarize. I also have a lease option contract that allows me to lease this property until as long as the term of the loan is, okay? So what that means for some of you, are like, wait, what? It means that as long as that loan is in place, I have the right to lease the property. And I had that pre-signed up front. So whether I want to buy it and transfer the title into my name, or whether I just want to hold it with a lease option where I can, at any time I can buy it, I use a lease to be able to do that. Yeah, Dimitri?
Did you try to reduce the second wing of the HCF?
I did, but you know what's funny about that? So yeah, great question. I called them, I emailed them. These people no longer exist. It was a short-term grant program by the state of Oregon that was federally funded. And they gave out all the money that they had in the grant. And of course they paid for their office fees and all that stuff, right? And now I emailed them multiple times. I've had my title company reach out to them. They have a website and that's about it. It's like they don't exist. So once the money runs out on some of these grant programs, it's like, well, now they don't have money to pay the staff. So it's like the thing kind of goes away. Now it stays on the record. And so it's not like there's somebody calling them saying, you still own that house? But if I go and transfer the title at the title company to buy it and put it in my name, well, now that lien gets triggered. Hey, this has to be paid back, or at least whatever's left on the note, right? At this point, I think I've got 2 years left on that because I started this deal a couple years ago. So the point is, I don't want to transfer the title right now. I'm just going to let that thing float as long as I can because I just want that 60,000 to drop off. Yeah, Shona. Yeah, there's some very specific wording that I use as the power of attorney on the behalf of the homeowner that every major lender in America knows that if they get something that says, hey, it includes these types of phrases and wording, then they have to, by federal law, they're required to at least present certain options. And so a lot of homeowners don't know that these types of options are available. And so they just the whole thing just goes and it goes to auction and gets sold when they don't know that they could have postponed the auction, they could have stopped it, they could have gotten all kinds of different options to help them. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about in the workshop coming up. Sherry?
The power of attorney is going to expire upon the death of the remaining person for whom you have the power of attorney.
I have power of attorney whether they die or live for 100 years. So I have that specifically worded. My power of attorney is not revocable. So I have full power of attorney and control over this property as long as they're around or even after death. And it's specifically worded there to where even after they pass, I still have control over this property. Because remember, it's not for the person per se, it's on the behalf of that person for this particular property, okay? So the seller got paid. I funded that private equity. I didn't take any money out of my pocket for that part. I did obviously put a little bit of money into cleanup and things like that. Cleaned it up, light renovation. This property wasn't really in bad shape. There was a couple of things. They had code violations. I got that cleaned up. And then pretty much got the entire thing really to a place where it's now the loan is fixed, right? Just got this final approval. It did take a couple of years, I'm going to be honest, because of different circumstances that aren't normal, but they did happen. So just so you know real quickly, I had this thing right on the verge of being worked out, and we were like in a trial payment period to get them into a full, locked in modification. We made one payment on the trial period. We went to make the next payment. I called just to confirm that they received it. And before I sent the next payment, I found out from the Cardinal Finance that they had switched servicing companies. And so the loan servicing company that we had sent the first payment to was now no longer the loan servicing company that we needed to send the next payment to. And, the information about that was lost in the mail somewhere, which, by the way, I learned a lesson on that. Just from day one, get everything mailed to you. you're the power of attorney, get everything mailed to you. I was kind of still trying to work it out, and the homeowner was getting letters, and of course I didn't get notified of that. So we had that put us in a whole entire, like, hey, you tried to fix the loan. Well, here's the good thing I learned. They were in that trial period thing. Then it got kicked into, no, it's in foreclosure. We're setting the auction date, right? All that stuff. The arrears amount is piling up, and guess what? We pulled it out of that again by using this very specific verbiage, and we got it into this modification plan. This as of August 23rd, we've actually got the final approval for that. Yeah, go ahead, Mel.
With your power of attorney, does it also give you the legal authority to log in to the?
I have full login, right? Yeah, so this basically the way. This is something that will help you guys write this down. I know it's getting a little bit long, and I want to give you guys a chance to hang out before we go home. But write this down. We're not in the land business. We're not in the house business. We're not in the building business. Well, we are in the people business, but when it comes to people, you know what we really are? We're in the contract business. Everything that we do all hinges on having the right kind of contracts. And so with the right kind of contract, you can control just about anything. Okay, so I have certain paperwork and certain documentation in place that allows me to fully control this property. I can buy it, I can sell it, I can rent it out, I can go take out a loan on the property. It's all written in the contract. Okay, so what's really cool about this is I had some money from another deal, so I paid off my private money lender. He earned his 10% interest. He was pumped. Because at that point, he was like, hey, John, I don't think I want to hold on to this. I want to do some stuff in Seattle. So that was cool. The lender, of course, he obviously loves the security, and I'm very transparent with him. I was able to hold on to my own cash for a while. And guess what happened while I've been holding on to this property? Remember I told you how much it was worth when I first started? $487. The comps today show this property is worth about $597,000 now. Since I started this, it's gone up in the sales around it, almost $100,000 in value. So here's where I'm at. I just did a walkthrough. Anybody see my little video I did the other day? Yeah, Marina saw that. Okay. So I did a walkthrough with a couple of buyers. This guy, I'm pretty sure, in fact, he was texting me before the meetup. He was like, hey, I can give you the money right now, because he doesn't want to get, and I don't do this. I don't do like, well, you better get over here and do this. I just like, hey, if he's a good buyer for me, then I'm going to work with him. But it's still open right now, and the starting price is $482,000. Now, that may not sound like a huge payday for me, but what I like to do is I like to create win-win-win, right? The seller wins. In this case, it's actually win-win-win-win. So the seller wins. They got $60,000 and got everything packed up and moved right where they wanted to be, right? Without having to lift a finger. So the seller wins. My lender wins, right? Private money lender, he wins. Okay, the buyer that's walking into this, they're getting a 3% mortgage with equity, and I like to leave meat on the bones for my buyers. I like to make sure that I have a deal that not only makes sense on the financing side, but also they're walking into equity. So I don't need to squeeze every bit of juice out of this deal. So I got to go win, win, win. So seller wins, the lender wins, the private money lender wins, my buyer wins. And then I'm gonna win because how much did I say? I'm basically opening up at 482. Well, you guys remember how much I had into it? 457 total. So you do the math on that. I don't remember what that is, but I mean, the only thing I've done, just about the only thing I've done to this property, is just be on the phone and talk to the bank and just kind of shuffle stuff around. I mean, I'm not making big money like Chris Burdick does by shuffling paperwork. But the point is, I haven't really done a lot of work to this property. It's not like a full flip. I was able to help the sellers. I'm controlling the property. And what I could have done, and in retrospect, what I should have done, I should have put a renter in there the day that I got them out. I just was kind of like, I don't want to own a rental in Portland. Shona, Shona, you've been down to that property. It's a great neighborhood. It would be really good for a midterm rental. You know what I found out? I'm just not a very good landlord. So I'm really not. I'm like too nice of a guy, and I'm like, oh, you don't have the money for rent? Okay, I'll figure something out. So I'm not a good landlord. I need to have Shona come work for me, just manage all my property. So the point is this, guys. These deals they actually are out there, and they're out there, and so you can help homeowners and you can make money doing this. What does that come out to if I sold it for you too? 25 grand. Okay, so I'll take 25 grand. And I've got 7 deals. The 25 grand. That's the least I'll make on most of the deals I have right now. Yeah, go ahead.
How does a buyer get 3%?
It takes over the mortgage.
He's taking over my mortgage. So remember, I have the contract in place that allows me to take the $351,000. I don't have to pay that off. I'm leaving that in place. He's just paying. Well, no, he's paying me. He's supposed to be bringing in whatever it comes out to. He's paying me I'm going to recoup everything, right? So I'm going to get all the money that I've put in this so far. The 60 grand that I paid my lender back from another deal. I said, hey, I got to pay this. I got to do something with this money anyway. So I paid him. I paid my private money lender back. So now I have 60 grand of equity in it, plus the work that I've done to it, which has not been much. Plus what did I say, like 24, the 16,000 plus the 10, about 26,000 into light cleanup and the fees I paid for everybody. I'm going to recoup all of that plus make another 25,000. So I'm going to be walking out of this when I get paid with a pretty fat check. Now, technically it's not all profit, but I didn't lose anything. Plus I gained 25 grand. Does that make sense? Yeah, he's basically buying out the equity that's in it right now that I hold and control. He's just buying out that equity plus paying me a little bit of a profit. Yeah, go ahead.
So you're doing like a subject to, they take over the mortgage. But what if they fail? What if they're not as good as you are at paying the mortgage and keeping it, up to date?
So what did I say about contracts? Control everything through the contract. So if I'm going to sell this thing, I'm going to put in there a clause that says if you don't make a payment, and by the way, it's going to be part of the paperwork. If you don't make a payment, Mr. Buyer, that's walking into this great deal that I've got set up for you, if you don't make the payment, then guess what? You miss one payment. I already have the right by contract to come in and take the deed back into my name. Okay, so in other words, it's very, very risky for the buyer to miss a payment. So guess what that means? You want to make sure that you get a good buyer. Right. So remember I said a few minutes ago, I don't like just who's got the most money, who can pay me the most. No, I want to work with a buyer that I know, like, and trust, and I know somebody's going to do the deal. Plus, let's be honest, if he misses a payment, he's going to lose the 130,000 he's putting whatever it is down to get into this deal, right? So he's going to lose all of his money, plus stands to lose the house. Now, he could fight it in court and everything like that, but if I have it in the contract, the judge is going to go, well, you signed this. So we're very, very upfront with everything we disclose. Yeah, go ahead, Arturo.
Are you able to add on your own interest to that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's way more data. Like, I don't have to sell it to him at 3%. I could add another 2% on top of that 3% that the bank is getting. I could add another 2%, and he's still getting a heck of an interest rate, right? I just like to, like I said, I like to give people like a really good incentive. I don't like to go in and complicate it. If I can keep it simple, you walk into equity, you walk into a great interest rate, you walk into a great payment. I did all the hard work and the heavy lifting. Just pay me my cash. Let me walk away. Now, if I was like one of these guys that's going to make it all work, I could do a wraparound mortgage. I sell it with interest added. I mean, goodness sake, for the 482, how much is it worth right now? 595. Now that's arguable if it's actually worth this much based on the current condition, but it's not in terrible shape. So he could argue that it's not quite worth 595, but I could argue that it's worth every bit of at least 545. So I'm selling it to him for 482. He's walking into equity. What I'm saying is, if I wanted to, I could add another $10,000, $20,000 on top of this. And if I was, see, you guys, I'm just telling you, I'm a pastor. I'm not a really great real estate guy. And so I'm pretty decent at like preaching a message because I can do that. And because by the grace of God, I know that I'm called to do that. And I like really enjoy that. The real estate stuff is like, oh, you do this to pay the bills. Okay. So the point is, I'm not one of these guys that's like, some of you guys are way smarter than me. You could make this deal, even much more profitable. I'm just a guy that likes to get in, get it done, get paid, get on to the next one, go help somebody. So the reason I wanted to tell you guys about this deal is because I do know that these deals are out there. We can actually help people. We were able to get the auction canceled. And that was really a big relief. By the way, kind of an interesting thing. I put a little sign in the front yard, and this is a hack. Okay, so how many of you are actually actively flipping deals, or you're looking at pre-foreclosures? I know you guys are. After I got them moved out, I would do this again from day one. After they moved out, the very first day, I'd put a for sale by owner sign in the yard, because you have no idea how many times I've gotten a call since I put the sign in the yard just about a month ago. I was like, I'm going to see if I can start getting some interest. My phone has been blowing up with my phone number there written on the sign, because remember, it went into auction status, right? So what happens is it hits Zillow on auction.com, it gets hit on Hubzu, all these places are listing it, and there's my phone number in the picture. You know, the bank sent by the foreclosure guy. He takes a picture. So my phone has been blowing. Hey, you still have the house on 42nd? Hey, what's going on with that house? And so I built my buyers list through the process while I was working out getting the loan settled with the bank. I've got about 30 different cash buyers in the Portland area that I've got all their phone numbers now, because they're out there, you know, trying to call my sign. So that was just a little tip. So seller got paid, distressed home was revived. We're going to put it back on the market. I didn't touch my own money. I did touch my own money at a certain point, but not to get into the deal. And so I just wanted to tell you guys about this, because I'm doing a workshop in the month of October. No money charged, but you have to use that QR code to get your name on the list, because we're going to do a limited number of people. I'm going to be going through this deal. I've got a whole file right here. I brought this because I've been working on this while I've been in Portland. I've got 3 or 4 more deals right now that I'm working on. 1 in Utah, 2 in Idaho. Another one I'm working on, getting started on in Washington. I've got these deals out there. You can do this anywhere in the country. I like doing it kind of local to where I am, or at least I can get on a 1 or 2 hour flight and get there. And you say, you would fly? Yes, I would absolutely fly to Salt Lake City. I'd rent a car. I'd drive down there and get into this one deal. It's a brand new townhome. It's probably 3 years old. They're the first people to live in it. They're behind. I worked everything out. The other day, I actually have the call recorded. I'll probably do this in the workshop. I'll show you guys this, where he just goes, hey, in fact, I'll read you guys the text, okay? So that you know I'm not making this up. This is the one I'm working on down in southern Utah, which if you guys know anybody down in Utah, send them my way. Here's the text I got. I was flying out here. I got this text. Hey, John, good news. I was discharged from the hospital. Were you able to look everything over and let us know about the current market and if selling is a good option? This is the homeowner asking me, would you be interested in buying it? And then he says this, we have come to the conclusion, based on the information you gave us, because I'm the power of attorney for them, okay? We've come to the conclusion that selling is our only option. We are ready and motivated to sell as soon as we can, so that we can walk away with as much money as possible and either rent or buy another place. My question is, are you still interested in buying the house? If not, can you help us find someone that we can trust to do this? Because that's the power of doing it this way. I have homeowners asking me, would you please buy the house from us? We know we need to sell. We want to sell. And if you don't want to buy it, can you help us find somebody that does want to buy it?
This is in southern Utah?
Yeah, St. George, Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. There you go. I have some techniques that I use, and I'm not going to disclose that tonight. But if you sign up for the workshop, I'll show you some of the things I do. Yeah. Because by the way, this list is public, right? So they're getting bombarded. They're getting calls. They're getting postcards. I had these people, again, this one here, it was brought to me by a person that they already trusted. And then this one right here, it was because I have a particular technique that I use when I'm reaching out to homeowners. And it seems to work really, really well. So we come to the work. Well, I have my pastor hat on all the time. You just can't see it right now. I know, sometimes I take it off. That's only if I have tenants that aren't paying rent and they really need to get moved out. So sometimes, you know, Pastor John has to get a little bit neat. So, but the point is this: like, if you just go in and try to help these people and show that you care for them, you'll get stuff figured out. You guys can get solutions, but you kind of need to know what to do, right? So there's some very specific things, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. If you guys are really interested in doing something like right away, I thought about something that might work for us. If you guys are really interested in that, come talk to me about that tonight. But was this helpful? Yeah. Does this actually make sense to you guys? Okay, so I want to give everybody a break because you guys have been sitting for an hour now. That was not 15, 20, 30 minutes. That was way longer. Sorry. So the restroom is right down around the hallway, the other end of the building. If you guys want to hang out and talk, you're welcome to do that. I'll be here till we close the doors. We got cake. We got cupcakes. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, by the way, for this awesome card. You guys, that was really, I mean, I'm not like a super sentimental guy, but this is really special. This is not going in the garbage can, okay? So this is really cool. And I want to give a big shout out to the Bauman's here. They took me out to lunch for my birthday today. So thank you guys. And so you guys welcome. Please come hang out. If this is really helpful, you guys know what I like to say, right? We like to say heaven yeah. Okay. So it's not hell yeah, hell no, heaven yeah. Okay. So give me a 1, 2, 3, heaven yeah. 1, 2, 3, heaven yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot. See you guys later. Yeah, group picture. That's cool. Yeah, everybody come up real quick. Group picture up front. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody come up real quick.
Before they bombard you, are you willing to part with your language to talk to the loan mitigation officer? We got a house in Southeast Portland that we kind of have control of. We let it go to auction, and I want to try and approach them as a short sale.
Yeah.
So I can buy it for what they paid it back.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Not tonight. Let me get this over. Yeah. All right.
Phone holder?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Smart. Okay, yeah, do it. Set your phone up. Or here, do mine.
I don't know how to do the wireless thing.
Okay. Hey, everybody get in there. You guys get up there. I'm going to take the picture. Come on, Shauna. Okay, you guys, I'm going to. All right. Come on, you guys, get up here. Okay. We're going to round them up. We're going to round them up. Okay, now before, are we all in here? Let me get this thing out of the way because I want you guys all in the picture. Okay, and I have no idea what that noise is. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys. Just trying to get this, I'm trying to get the thing in the background down. So, yeah, you guys hang out. Okay. Is it gonna work? Okay. All right. Just want to get. Yeah, with the projector is no. It's actually okay. It's not. You guys are good. Okay, I'm zooming in a little bit. I got the timer. Shona, get in a little bit. Get a little closer to Ramiro or on the end. Yeah. There you go. All right. 3, 2, 1. It's going. It's a 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, you guys are making me feel like I'm pretty special. All right. Hold on. Let's check. Check it. Chris, your eyes were closed. Just kidding. Yeah. All right, that's good. You guys are good. Thank you. That's a good one. Good idea. Thanks, Monica.
So if you could just get a hold of me in this coming week or something, so I can talk to you about that.
Okay. Hey, good to see you, man. Yeah, nice to meet you in person.
Yeah. How are you today?
Yeah, good. Cindy, good to see you too.
We're gonna go out on Monday.
Do some door knocking?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You and Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I love how you guys are partnering up. You guys are gonna do some door knocking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you on speed dial. I need you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys take some of my, I don't know if I have.
I was gonna ask you what in whatever you said to talk to you about.
Okay.
For the thing.
Are you hanging around for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. We'll talk. I might just, we might break over in the couch area for a minute. I'll talk to you about it in just a second. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. That's good. You guys are going. I can probably get you guys some materials too to take with you. So printed up material I already have made on it. Yeah. Mary, nice to meet you officially. Yeah. Thanks for coming out tonight. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I almost lost my house once.
Really?
Foreclosure, so I think that might be
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good to actually be able to know how to connect with people. Yeah.
Yeah. So the workshop, what's the workshop?
So did you do the QR code there?
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
Check the QR code. If you just pull that up, that should tell you everything. Actually, make sure it pulls up because I'm not sure that.
It worked for me.
Does it actually open up? Does it open up the link? Yeah. So just click on the green button. And fill it out real quick. It's like name and phone number, and then you'll get all the information when we set the date and everything.
Is it in person or is it
No, this is going to be a live one. Yeah. So we're going to start out doing the workshop's going to be live, and then we're going to have like little groups that we go out together and do some in-person stuff. So it's going to be really cool. It'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you came. So how long ago did you join Sept.2025?
September 1st.
Okay. Oh, really new?
Yeah.
Yeah, like brand new.
Yeah.
What like how did you get in the funnel? Because I'm sure you got in somewhere.
So
Oh yeah.
where are you staying tonight? Are you staying with me? Or do I take you to the airport? What are we doing?
No, we're good. John Smythe has got me covered all the way through this time. So
Okay.
Yep.
Because I still have your signs.
oh yeah, that's right. Well, I can't take them with me. So but
Okay. You want me to just keep them?
yeah, if you don't mind.
No, I don't
You won't
mind.
charge me storage fees?
Huh?
You won't charge me storage fee?
No.
Okay.
But did you read the card?
I did. Very, very nice.
I thought it was very
That was
appropriate.
great. Yeah, and it was actually
There you go. So, okay. So,
Monica, what are you yelling about over there?
he brought ice
Oh,
cream.
ice cream cake? Dude, Kai?
I'm
What's up? Yeah,
gonna
appreciate you, man.
take this for you.
Okay, I'm getting a piece of cake, but you guys can help yourself. I'm gonna go back and grab some.
You can take it to the Smice, or I'll take part of it, or whatever.
Okay.
That cake was
Right.
really so you could have a birthday cake with 45 on it. I
That's
already
awesome.
sent a picture to the Smice.
Did you send it to Lindsay? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Peggy.
Sure.
Very nice of you.
Well,
I saw you bringing a whole bunch of stuff in.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody thinks about you, but I just wanted to make sure you're taken care of.
Hey, bro.
Your family.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Love you, man. Yeah.
To be completely honest, man, when we met 6 months ago, 5 months ago, I was in a freaking dark place.
Really?
And I haven't made any money in the real estate game, but I'm in a totally different space than
Yeah.
I was back then. My family's doing really well.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
You want a cupcake too?
No, I didn't. But thank you.
What's your name?
Kai.
What is it?
Kai.
Well, that's good.
Kai.
K-A-I.
Yep.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, I think I have you on my Facebook.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you're celebrated, bro. But I'm sure somebody had you covered.
Well, I did not expect all this, honestly. I'm not a big, what's funny is I'm not like a big like special day guy. I've never been that guy. But it's like, well, this is really cool. Thank you guys. Yeah.
It's your day. Like your
And the thing about it is, you could be anywhere today except you're pouring into people. You know what I mean? People appreciate that, you know, especially me.
Oh,
Just wanted to-
appreciate that, man. I got your message too.
Yeah, sorry,
Thank
bro.
you. No, that's all
When
right.
you called me back finally. I was putting my kids down for a nap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right now. They're almost sleeping.
Mm-hmm. No, I got your message. Yep. He's got 2 beautiful babies. Well, not really babies anymore, but
They're getting big.
Mhm.
My daughter's
um,
they're almost 2 and 3. But right now they're 1 and 2. How long are you in town for?
I'm out first thing tomorrow morning. I gotta be at the airport at like 5. So, well, I have TSA pre-check, so I probably get there like 5:30 and be okay. Portland Airport, you never know.
I came a little bit late today. I was like, I'm pretty sure it finishes at 8, so if I show up at 7:30ish, ice cream cake should be fine. And then when I looked at it on Facebook, it's 8:30, and then I constantly like stood up to check on the cake. I was like,
Oh, dude, I didn't know you were. Yeah, it was great. It was actually perfect.
yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah. Let me, is there any more ice cream cake left?
yeah, there's
3 whole cakes.
yeah.
Hey guys, we got ice cream cake back there on that back table. Ice cream cake. That's pretty special. Go help yourself quick before it melts, please. For my birthday, please have some ice cream cake. Dang, bro. Hey, Kenny. What's up, man? Yeah. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. You get that Gresham one moved?
So we had an offer, but it came in pretty low. So
Hmm.
we found some foundation stuff. I don't know how bad it is. Also, they need to replace
Oh, right. Did they do a scope?
No, they didn't do so.
They just assumed it's gonna need.
So we're trying to do another walk. We only had 2 people walk because that's when you're getting in.
Yeah.
So now we're
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
apparently in Lomo County, tenants they get just 90 days.
Dude, it's crazy. Unless, I mean, I think there's a way to get around that if you are owner occupant. But let's go get a picture over here by the. I want to get a picture of you over here. Let me get my. Okay, here we go. Appreciate that.
You've been in town for a couple days, right?
Yeah, it's been. I've been here pretty much all week. I honestly was thinking like, oh, I won't be that busy. Dude, it's been crazy busy. Just been like running around and just got several deals I'm looking at, and then I also the one down in 42nd. We've been working on that, trying to hustle and get a buyer lined up. I know I can make more money on it, but I just like I said, I just like to get it done, get it moved quick. So, but yeah, it's been a good week. It's ready to go home, but yeah.
Flying out tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, tomorrow morning, first thing. How's everything going with I mean, I know with your dad passing, I'm sure it's not like it's completely, just like you haven't moved on, like everything okay? You guys, your family doing all right?
Yeah, doing all right. We're getting pretty good. Just trying to